Hey guys, CV here. I look a hot mess right now because I have no makeup. I'm actually at my parents' house right now, so I don't have to be quarantined by myself and go crazy from lack of socialization. And in my rush to get here, I left all my makeup at home. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of this bare face for a while. But I kind of wanted to come on and give a little prologue as to what my purpose for this series is. Basically, okay, so writing, it's a wonderful craft, it's a fun craft, I'm a fan. I've been doing it since I was, I don't know, whenever I started learning to write. I've been writing stories basically. But it's also kind of a lonely craft because it's not really something you do with a team or you do with other people, and a lot of people are very, I don't know, I guess protective over their process of what they go through as they get a story idea and then planning it out and planning the characters and taking it from the conception point when they first get the story idea to the final product. Nobody really talks about in detail all the different processes you have to go through in that journey. And as far as I know, no one's ever documented it, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I mean, hopefully it'll help somebody, maybe. I don't know. But disclaimer, everything you're about to see in this series is not what I am considering the right way to do it. There's really no right or wrong way when it comes to writing, which is both the beauty and the frustration with it, because when you're a newbie, you're trying to get into it, it's like, okay, what do I do? And everyone's like, I don't know, just figure it out. But this is just me documenting my process and what works for me. And so, I don't know, hopefully this will help you. And if not, maybe it'll at least be entertaining. Help take your mind off this whole corona situation that we're in, which, please be safe. Please wash your hands, take care of yourself. Prayers and best of wishes, and yeah. Hope you enjoy this.
Hi guys, it's CV Tomlinson here, and I'm sorry for all the crazy background noise you're probably hearing. I'm in my car driving to see my parents because if I'm gonna die in quarantine from the coronavirus, I don't want to die alone. But basically, I want to come talk to you guys because, well, when I started this YouTube channel a total of 2-3 weeks ago, something like that, my intent was to help other aspiring writers develop their craft, and I wasn't really sure how I was going to do that. So yesterday, I'm in my apartment by myself with nothing to do, so I just started reading random articles on Google, as one does when they're stuck at home with nothing to do. And I came across this article about IVF. I started reading this article and I got a random story idea that I decided to play around with because, again, stuck at home by myself, nothing to do. Anyways, so what's this crazy idea I came up with, this crazy story idea that I came up with while reading an article about IVF in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic that we're in right now? Basically, there's been an apocalypse. I don't know if it's a pandemic, worldwide nuclear war, zombies, maybe all of the above. I don't know yet. But there's been an apocalypse, and most of the human race has been wiped out except for 56 girls, 56 women, ranging from ages 15 to 25, who were taken to a bunker by this mad genius dude who somehow knew the apocalypse was coming. How he knew, I don't know yet. probably involved in the government somehow. But he knew, and he brought these 56 girls to this bunker to keep them alive, along with these millions of embryos he stole from various IVF clinics as the world was ending. And you can probably figure out basically what happens from there.
So what I have here is what I might call a brainstorm sheet or a scratch sheet of paper. This is the first thing I wrote down upon getting my little light bulb moment, my little story idea. I did a little research to figure out how many American territories actually have people living on them, because we have some territories that are, I guess, basically just for research. No one's actually living there. So I looked that up. I have this, and I have my number, and then just the basic blurb for the story. Why I decided to have one girl from each state and each territory and DC be picked, why I decided to go with that little organizational thingy, I don't know. That's just where my mind went when I first got the story idea. And this is just me getting my initial idea on paper. And then what I have here is an actual synopsis. So this is something that you might see on the back cover of a book. And it's written from the perspective, first person perspective of my protagonist. Who that is exactly, I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. So these are the first 2 pages I wrote, and this is just to give me just a solid but basic idea of what my story is and what direction I want to take it in.
And that's as far as I've gotten in the plot so far. I know that's very vague, very basic, bare bones. I have a lot of details and plot points that I need to iron out, but for this portion of the development phase, I'm actually going to put a pin in story right now, and I'm going to work on characters. Sorry, I had to catch my breath there for a minute. Whew. Whew. Forgot to breathe. Breathe, CV. You're driving, you need to breathe. Anywho, here's the thing. When you start working on developing your craft as a writer, you're going to realize that there are certain areas of writing you are naturally inclined to, that you're really good at, and other areas that you are not so good at. And that's just how it is. You're not going to be fantastic at every single element of writing. That's just the thesis. Every writer has their Achilles heel. For me, I'm okay at coming up. Actually, I'm fairly good at coming up with unique-ish story ideas. I'm not like some crazy Dr. Seuss, Lewis Carroll person who just comes up with all this off-the-wall stuff, but I'm okay at coming up with ideas that are unique enough to be interesting. But I'm not necessarily the best at spotting plot holes. So I'll start writing a story, and then I give it to someone to read, and they said, oh yeah, that sounds good, but what about this plot hole right here? And I just kind of look at it and go like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. So that's my Achilles heel there. I'm not very good at spotting or fixing plot holes. But what I am good at is character and dialogue. I'm pretty good at coming up with fun, unique characters who are interesting that people want to follow, and I'm pretty good at coming up with entertaining dialogue to go between those characters. That was a weird way of phrasing that, but you get what I'm saying. So when I start developing a new story idea, that's where I front load most of the beginning stages of the work, is developing the characters, because hopefully once I get to the final product, my characters are fun enough and interesting enough and intriguing enough that even if I do drop the ball and leave a plot hole wide open there that doesn't make any sense, my characters will be good enough that the audience will kind of forgive it. And that's not to say I don't try to go back and fix any plot holes that might come up. I do, but that's a weakness I have as a writer, and so I try to make up for it in characters because I know that's a strength I have. What I did last night is I made a list of names. I have a random name generator on my phone because I'm a writer, and that's what you have on your phone when you're a writer. And I just click, came up with 56 names and wrote them down. And then I went to a random name picker. There are a million of them online. You just Google random name picker and it will pop up, and you just click on it and you enter as many names or as many things as you want. In this case scenario, I put the 50 states of the United States, the 5 territories of the United States that actually have people living in them, and Washington, D.C., and just click. Whatever one popped up, that's what went with whatever name was at the top of the list, and then click again. Whichever one popped up that time, that's what went with the second name, and on and on and on and on and on. And then I went through, same concept, but instead of putting state and territories and city names in there, I put the numbers 15 through 25, because I decided that was the age range these girls were going to be in. And again, click, determined the age for each of them. And that's what I did. So now I have a list of 56 character names, where they're from, and their ages. And now what I'm doing, and this is the part that's going to kind of take me a while, I'm going through and I'm creating a basic character sheet for each of them.
So here's my list of 56 girls that I've already gotten together. And as you can see, I've got their name, I've got where they're from, and I have their age. And as I'm going through writing these basic sheets for them, I'm checking them off. So Virginia Louise from New Hampshire is who I need to work on next.
And what these character sheets will have are the girl's name, her age, where she's from, her ethnicity, and then 2 zodiac signs. And you're probably thinking I'm a lunatic right now, but let me explain. So obviously basic information is something we need to know about our characters. We need to know their name when developing them, or at least I do. Maybe you're one of those writers, you don't assign names to your characters right away, you just come up with basic concepts for them and then name them later. I have ADHD, I confuse myself enough as is, so I need to make sure each of my characters have a unique name from the get-go so I can tell who is who, because if not, I will get them mixed up. Trust me, I've tried it before. I have mixed and matched characters and it's been a mess. Actually, some of those characters that started off as 2 separate characters and then became one because of my crazy ADHD brain turned out to be a lot of fun, and they were a lot of fun to write, but still a chaotic mess that I really don't want to repeat. So I have to assign a unique name to each of my characters to begin with, and then their age, because your age will determine kind of your personality, because life experience is important, as well as the amount of life experience you've had. That's going to help shape you as a person. Ethnicity, okay, so we all know race is a touchy subject, but I mean, we have to talk about it because it's a thing. And no, race should not shape you as much as it does in our world today. Everyone should get equal opportunity, equal treatment, regardless of their skin tone or their ancestral heritage, but that's not the world we live in. And if you're going to write a story set in the real world, which this one is, it's just set in a post-apocalyptic timeline, then ethnicity is going to play a role in shaping your character and who they are as a person. And how I determine the ethnicity for this particular set of characters is I looked up the origin of the name, because I picked the names randomly. Just put in random generator, American girl names, and you know, America's a melting pot. We got a little bit of everybody over here. So just popped up 56 American names, and then I looked up the origin on Google, and wherever this name originally came from, that helped me determine what the race was.
So now I'm just looking up the origins of her name to help determine her ethnicity. So we can see here, Virginia is derived of the ancient Roman family name Virginius, a name probably derived from the Latin word Virgo. So Virginia could be Caucasian, could be Latina, but if we go and look at Luis, is of Portuguese origin. So that's of Latin-based origin. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Virginia Louise right here is going to be Latina. Go ahead and put that down So people may be wondering why I look up all the names and double check their origin when deciding ethnicity. You might be like, CV, why don't you just assign ethnicity based on what the name sounds like? And here's an example why. So this name, Rosetta Kuramato, I for sure thought Kuramato was going to be Latin. It's not, it's Japanese. So this is why I double check myself, because I'm not as knowledgeable as I'd like to think that I am. So yeah.
I have all that basic info now. And then, and this is just a little trick that I developed, and I do this for pretty much any story I start writing now. I came up with this technique about 3 years ago, and I've clung onto it ever since. Basically what I do is I assign a Greek and a Chinese zodiac to each of my characters. And you're probably wondering, CV, why the heck are you doing that? Are you some crazy new age hippie? Well, no. At least I don't think I am. But here's the thing. Zodiacs have personality traits associated with them. So if you're an Aquarius, you're supposed to be like this. If you're a Scorpio, you're supposed to be like this. If you were born in the year of the rat, you were supposed to be like this. Anywho, so what I do is I will assign a Greek zodiac to each character, and as you can see written in the pink are the characteristics that go with that zodiac sign. And then I assign a Chinese zodiac to each character, and you see written in green are these characteristics that go with that zodiac year. And then what you see in purple at the bottom are just my unfiltered thoughts based on those two lists of characteristics I have above me. What goes with the Greek zodiac sign, what goes with the Chinese zodiac sign. I just read them to myself, and then whatever pops into my mind, that's what I write down in the purple.
Alright, so now we're just gonna determine what her Greek zodiac is. Pick a name. Not a name. Zodiac sign. Zodiac sign. And my computer is slow, so we're just gonna keep waiting here. Oh wow, this is really slow. Come on. Alright. Winner is Aries. Alright. So Miss Virginia, you're going to be Aries. Alright, so now that I have both of her zodiacs figured out and I've listed the characteristics that go along with each of that, I'm just going to write down my unfiltered thoughts, what I think this person might be based on these characteristics up here. So, first thing I'm thinking, she seems like she'd be a pretty fiery personality, so she's probably quick-witted and witty on top of that. Probably doesn't take a lot of crap from anyone, so I'll put that down too. Inconsistent. She probably has a. I'll go wipe that out later. Has a sweet side, but you have to kind of dig to get to it. So you gotta get to know her really well before you can see her sweet side. Okay. That looks like enough. At least a starting point. I'm just gonna go ahead and cover that up just for my own OCD. And that's pretty much how I do a basic character sheet. And again, this isn't supposed to be in depth. This isn't supposed to be groundbreaking. This is just to give me a good solid foundation that I can then build off of.
And that's how I create a foundation to start building my characters from. Because here's the thing, when you start developing a character, you need a good foundation to start from. Despite what some people might think, you can't just come up with a character from scratch. You need something to build upon. And that something should be, in my opinion at least, who is this character at their core? What makes them who they are as a person? What is their inner essence? What makes them tick? And this little trick I came up with the 2 zodiacs, that is what helps me get to that core of that character. And then what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll read through all the girl profiles, and I'll pick out a select few to be a part of the main core cast, because you can't have a core cast of 56 characters. You're gonna need a small group that takes the majority of the plot on. I don't care what anyone says, having a huge ensemble cast is tricky. It's not impossible to do it well, but it is tricky. And the way you do it well is you have a core cast. You have your ensemble cast, and then you have your core cast. So I'm creating my ensemble right now, and then I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna pick out who I want in my core cast. Now I already have one core member figured out. Her name is Rose. She's Italian American, and she's a Scorpio. And just something about this character is speaking to me. I don't know what it is, but I like this character, and I know I want her in my core group. And sometimes that happens for me. Sometimes as I'm developing this first basic foundational character sheet, I'll already be able to know, okay, this person's going to be a core member. Sometimes I have to go back through and read the sheet 2 or 3 times before deciding, okay, yeah, this person is going to be a core character. But yeah, it just depends on the situation, I suppose. But Rose is definitely going to be in the core cast, so I'll put a little blue star at the top corner of her page, so when I go back through, I remember, okay, yeah, she's a core member.
And periodically what I'll do when I have a big cast like this, I'll just go back through and read through what I have already to see if there's any that are speaking to me now that I want in my main cast. Like I said, here's Rose, who kind of leaped out to me as I was writing her characteristics down. So I've got the blue star there that tells me she's gonna be in the core cast. But then there was another person, and let me see if I can find her again. There she is, Delilah. Reading through hers again, she kind of spoke to me as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a star on the top of her page. So I have 2 that I know are going to be my core cast now. I know Rose is gonna be a big player, and I know that Delilah is gonna be a big player. And I don't have anyone else figured out beyond that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, blue is important when you're trying to do arts and crafts. Problem is, almost everything's shut down right now, so.
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. There's my sister. Hi.
Hi. What's she doing?
I don't know. I'm working on a story-ish. Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
No one.
No one?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
My brother has invaded my writing time.
Ooh.
You don't even know what that is.
No idea. Yes? Alright.
Getting feedback is good too. No.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
Great.
Great. That's all you got to say?
Hold on, I'm not finished.
Oh, okay, fine. Be that way.
Oh, fun! Oh, fun. Oh, dear.
What are you doing?
I have no idea.
So here's another character who is now speaking to me upon reading through her profile again. Maybe it's because she's from Alabama, and I'm also from Alabama, but I'm liking this girl right now, so I'm gonna put a star up here. I'm also taking a look at her first name is Eleanora. Again, these names I just got from a random name generator. I wasn't being too picky about them, but now that I know that this girl's gonna be in the core cast, podcast, I'm going to give her the nickname Nora. So, yeah, again, these basic character sheets are just that. They're basic, they're to give us a foundation, and if you want to go and add to later, you can. Obviously, I just did, so yeah. The sound of silence. Okay, that's all she has to say. I mean, Okay, so I'm still going through and doing the basic pages for all the characters, but this girl right here, Jenna, was really speaking to me as I was writing her page, and I'm really getting protagonist vibes from this girl. So Jenna Townsend may be our POV character for this story. I don't know yet. It's still a little too early to tell, but yeah, getting some real protagonist vibes off her. Me recording because he's lost at Hogwarts. Now he's ignoring me. Okay, so this girl right here is getting me in a little trouble because apparently the names Kenya and Hellink are not that popular. So I can't find a lot of information about their origins, so we're just gonna make something up. Let's see. How about North Caucasian? Asian American, and one of African American. Yeah, that looks good to me. I feel like I just made the most stereotypical Jersey girl ever, but I'm still gonna put a star on her because she sounds like fun. Yeah. Alright, so I finished all the... Hang on. Fans getting in the way of my creative work. So I finished all my basic character profiles about 15 minutes ago, and then I just spent the next 15 minutes writing down possible themes for this story, because here's the thing, I know not every story has to have a deep theme to go with it. Some stories are just purely for entertainment, and that's fine, that's good. But something I've noticed is that even the goofy stories, the silly stories that are just there for entertainment, not really to teach anything, they still have some sort of message to it. And so when I write stories, I want to make sure that all those messages are good. 'Cause if you've seen my soapbox video, you know I take the messages that my stories give off very seriously, and I want to make sure I'm not possibly leading anyone astray with anything in anything I write. So that's why I take this step. It's just, I don't know. I guess something to make sure what I'm writing is actually in line with what I think, what I feel, what I believe. So if you noticed on my list of themes, I put a pink star next to the one that said, "What does it mean to be a woman?" And this is about to get really personal, but if I'm gonna be transparent with my writing process, then I'm gonna be transparent with everything. So that one is probably more for me than any future readers that this story might have, because that's kind of a question I've been asking myself recently. I don't know, just, graduating college and getting my first real job and being on my own for the first time, and then recently getting out of a relationship where I kind of lost myself for a little bit. Basically I was being used as a crutch for his issues, and in my opinion, I feel like relationships should be a companionship where each person's an equal player, and that's not what my most recent relationship that I just escaped felt like. It felt like I was more of an accessory to him, and that's not how I want my womanhood to be defined, if that makes sense. Just because I'm a woman, a heterosexual woman, I don't feel like that means I have to be the accessory to a man in a relationship. And so I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to define what it means to be a woman for me. And so that theme is gonna be more for my own exploration than anyone else's, probably. I don't know. Maybe some future reader will have that question answered for her when she reads the story. I don't know. Probably not, but yeah, that got deep and personal quick. But if I'm gonna be transparent, then I'm gonna be transparent. So there we go. And so now, as I'm editing this video and getting ready to upload it, I realized I didn't really leave it off on a good note, so this is my good note to leave off on, I guess. Not really, because this is a terrible outro, but yeah, that's basically how I brainstorm and how I kind of vet story ideas to see if they're really worth pursuing. So yeah, hopefully this helped or entertained somebody, and stick around and we'll go through this journey together and see where it takes us. Maybe this will be the story I finally actually publish. Maybe not, I don't know, but yeah, let's keep on this journey. Bye!